Hello everyone, I hope you're doing fine. I humbly welcome you to yet another topic of our ICT lessons. Well, today we are going to start a new topic called storage device and file size. Mine is a question. Have you ever wondered when you save files in your computer where they go? You might save your files today, but tomorrow they'll still be in your computer. Where are they saved? Well, in this topic, we're gonna discuss about storage device and file size. And I strongly believe at the end of this topic, you're gonna know what happens when you save your files. So let's begin by discussing data storage. Well, a computer has two types of storage. And these types of storage, there is temporary and permanent. Or you might hear about primary storage or secondary storage. Later in our lessons, we are going to be discussing more of the temporary storage and permanent storages. But what you should know is a computer has two specific types of storage. One is a temporary or primary storage, and the other one is a permanent main storage or secondary storage. A main store consists of ROM and RAM. Here we are not trying to differentiate, or we are not trying to group these items, the ROM and the RAM. But we are trying to talk about the data storage. What is it that the computer would keep further? So a main store consists of ROM and RAM. These are abbreviations of which you're gonna discover them in future once we talk about this storage device or storage, data storage in particular. So the main storage, if we talk of keeping files and keeping your items in the computer, the main store consists of ROM and RAM. Well, these are medias that will have to keep your information either when you're saving them or when you are processing them in the computer. So, like I said, the main stores consist of ROM and RAM. ROM means read-only memory, while RAM means random access memory. Therefore, upon knowing these two main stores, you should also know that the backend store, which can be internal, is called the hard disk, or some people wish to call it a hard drive. Well, in a computer, you can keep files internally. That means inside, your files will be kept in the computer. Inside, or other files, you can wish to have them externally, that is in the USB drive. Assuming you want to keep your files in the computer, then they have to be saved in the hard disk drive or the hard disk. So the hard disk is the backend store, which can be internal, and the external one can be the USB flash disk. Now, storage capacity and file size. Storage capacity and file sizes are measured from lowest to highest. Any file size and storage capacity in a computer has got its measurements. More like in mathematics, you have got measurements. Centimeters to kilometers and so on. In computer, when we talk of storage and capacity, file size, these are characterized by measurements from its lowest measurement to the highest measurement. So, storage capacity, lowest measurement, is measured in bits, then the bytes, then the kilobytes, then the megabytes, then the gigabytes, and the last one is the terabytes. So the bytes are the smallest measurements of data capacity. Then after the bytes, we have got the bytes. After the bytes, we have the kilobytes, then the megabytes, then the gigabytes, and the terabytes. Well, in our future lessons, we're gonna discover that these measurements are going to be abbreviated. That depends on an operating system. When an operating system is measuring this file size or storage capacity, it abbreviates them. So an operating system abbreviates these measurements. For example, 1 megabyte becomes 1 MB. So instead of writing in full, so to say 1 megabyte, the operating system abbreviates it to MBs. So the bytes is just a byte. Kilobytes, it's abbreviated as KB. Megabytes, MB, just like you've seen here. Gigabytes, GB. Terabytes, TB. So don't be surprised when you see the abbreviations in your system. You should know that an operating system is playing it slow to abbreviate these items. Now let's look at the relationship between those measurements that we have so far discussed. The table below outlines the relationship between bits, that is the smallest, and terabytes, the largest one. So here we are trying to show the relationship, a balanced relationship. Remember, those capacity are in order, the smallest to the largest, largest to the smallest. So the smallest capacity is measured in bits, then the largest is terabytes. Here we are going to see how we can relate these measurements. We have the file size, bytes to gigabytes. 8 bits, this is equal to 1 bit. Then 1024 bytes is equal to 1 kilobyte. 1024 kilobytes is equal to 1 megabyte. Then 1024 megabytes is equal to 1 gigabyte. 1024 gigabytes is equal to 1 terabyte. So the size of a file and storage device capacity will always be written in its smallest form. For example, an operating system would report a 1 terabyte hard disk size as 1 TB, not as 1024 gigabytes. So if you're measuring this, an operating system will have to give you an abbreviation, like I said, and will report a 1 terabyte as 1 TB, not as 1024 gigabytes. Although both are correct, we are not trying to say that reporting as 1024 gigabytes is wrong when we say 1 TB. 1 TB, remember we said 1024 gigabytes is equal to 1 terabyte. So there is nothing wrong in saying 1 TB or 1024 gigabytes. These are equal measurements, so there is nothing wrong to start with one or the other. Let's look at examples of file sizes. This table right here shows lists of commonly found on the computer and their typical file size complexly. For example, we have photos, songs, films, documents, and all other files types that you can have in a computer. Commonly, most of the photos can be measured in megabytes. So a photo, for example, can be of 3 MB. This means 3 megabytes. A song can be of 5 MBs. A film can be from 1 gigabyte to 1.5 gigabyte. So a file size can be influenced by a number of factors, but ultimately the more information of a file stores, the larger it will be. So the more the file is, the larger it will be. Now we have discussed about file storage. What comes next is for you to know the media that keeps your items. We've talked about main or permanent storage as the other type of storage media. So here we're going to discuss about the hard disk drive. I have attached this picture. As you can see clearly, this is the image of your hard drive. Now let's talk about in percentage as what can we have in our hard drive, since it's a permanent storage media. Well, in a hard drive, you can keep 10% of an operating system. You can keep 20% of softwares and applications. In the same hard drive, you can keep 30% free space. That is the space that awaits for your future files to be saved in. The same hard drive can have files already saved, that is in folders and mere files. So you can see if we add up all these percentages, they are equivalent to 100. Like I said, in a hard drive, the permanent storage, you have 10% of an operating system. Remember, an operating system, it's very, very important. It runs in your computer. It keeps running in your computer. Furthermore, your apps and softwares, they need to be saved in the same hard drive. The same hard drive has to keep your files and folders. Nevertheless, your hard disk drive should have free space for your future files. So the main intent backing storage in the computer is the hard disk drive. The hard disk drive is the main storage. Whatever that you do on your computer is saved or it is stored in the computer hard drive. Be it your games, be it your music, be it your pictures, and so on. They are permanently kept in your hard drive or the hard disk drive. So here we have discussed about the permanent storage, which is the hard drive. Now let's look at what a hard disk stores. So when you look at a hard drive, this keeps the operating system. The main function of the hard drive is to keep the operating system. Nevertheless, the hard drive should also have the software applications or programs that you use in your day in and day out, your day-to-day life. Above all, the hard drive also has the majority of your data files. Like I said, your pictures, your music, your everything is kept in the hard drive. So the hard drive has got 3 main top duties. 1, the operating system, to keep the operating system, to have your software applications or programs, then to keep your files. So hard disk spins at a very high speed, around 7,200 RPM, that is revolution per minute. Within a sealed unit inside the computer, hard disk stores large amount of data. It can be 200 GB to 1 TB and on and so on. So it's common in desktop computers. You can also have such kind of storage nowadays in laptop computers. So the data stored on a hard disk is retained until deleted. That means the data that is kept on your computer is always stored until you delete it. But it needs to be loaded into the main store called the RAM before it can be used. In our future lessons, we are going to talk about the RAMs, what does it do, and so on. So here we've talked about storage. Let's look at a picture illustration of computer storage systems. So here we have a desktop illustration. Is connected to power. We have a keyboard right here, a mouse, and a hard drive, which is an external hard drive. And we have one internal hard drive, which is here, and the picture is zoomed. So all these storage media, they have to be connected to power, and they need to be connected to a data cable. Also, the data cable will carry the information from the hard drive so that it can be processed where it needs to be processed. That's what I had for you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.